Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. A British minister has said that US President Donald Trump's comments that NATO troops stayed off the front line in Afghanistan were deeply disappointing, noting that many European soldiers had died supporting American-led operations. Junior Minister Stephen Kinnock told Sky News many British soldiers and many soldiers from other European NATO allies gave their lives in support of American-led missions in places like Afghanistan and Iraq. He added that anybody who seeks to criticise what forces did and the sacrifices that they made is plainly wrong. US President Donald Trump has said that the United States has an armada heading toward Iran, but hoped he would not have to use it, as he renewed warnings to Tehran against killing protesters or restarting its nuclear program. US officials say the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln and several guided missile destroyers will arrive in the Middle East in the coming days. One official said additional air defense systems were also being eyed for the Middle East, which could be critical to guard against any Iranian strike on US bases in the region. On the other hand, Trump has withdrawn an invitation for Canada to join his Board of Peace initiative aimed at resolving global conflicts. Trump's about-face follows Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney's speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where he openly decried powerful nations using economic integration as weapons and tariffs as leverage. US President Donald Trump has said that his meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy in Davos was very good and that the war in Ukraine has to end. Trump spoke briefly after the hour-long meeting, saying his message to Russian President Vladimir Putin was clear. Zelenskyy had earlier planned to skip Davos to stay in Kyiv amid power outages caused by Russian strikes. Vietnam's top leader, Tu Lam, has been reappointed as head of the ruling Communist Party for the next 5 years, after a unanimous vote by its Central Committee, as he pledged to turbocharge growth in the export-reliant nation. In the one-party state, Lam was re-elected to Vietnam's most powerful job by all 180 party officials from a newly formed committee at the end of a congress held every 5 years to set key targets and make leadership decisions. Uganda's military chief has said that authorities detained 2,000 opposition supporters, killed 30, and were hunting for more following a disputed presidential election in which his father, Yoweri Museveni, won a 7th term. In a series of overnight social media posts, the military chief, Museveni's son, gave the first details of the arrests and killings of NUP supporters, describing them as hooligans and terrorists. He said so far the military has killed 30 NUP terrorists, without explaining the circumstances of the deaths. Meanwhile, Russia has said it will hold security talks with the US and Ukraine in Abu Dhabi, but warned after a late-night meeting between President Vladimir Putin and 3 US envoys that a durable peace would not be possible unless territorial issues were resolved. Kremlin aide Yuri Ushakov told reporters the talks were substantive, constructive, and very frank. TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance says it has finalized a deal to establish a majority American-owned joint venture that will secure US data to avoid a US ban on the short video app used by over 200 million Americans. ByteDance said TikTok USDS Joint Venture LLC will secure US user data, apps and algorithms through data privacy and cybersecurity measures. The deal is a milestone for the social media firm after years of battles that began in August 2020 when President Donald Trump tried to ban the app over national security concerns. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.